Happy Peeps, Suzanna here today to share with you this Traveler's Notebook spread. It's called Apple Watch, and that is in my personal memory keeping book. And it is on the back side of the coffee layout that I will link you up to right above, right there, that I did for my Grab 5 for Scale It Down most recently. So this is this is not the picture that ends up on the layout. That is a picture of myself, which you have also seen recently in a layout that's titled Simply Me that I did for Spiegel Mom Scraps. So you can go over there and view where that particular picture ended up ending up. But I am going to actually switch out the pictures, and I will explain to you a little later on in the video how I ended up coming about switching out the pictures. So I have these two pictures. You can see the one on the top very edge of the video up there. That is a picture of my Apple Watch, and then there is the picture of myself. And I wasn't sure I was going to do two pictures on the spread, but I actually really like my Traveler's Notebook spreads to just have a single picture, either that or smaller pictures, and have the picture be on one side and the title and journaling be on the other. And that is just my personal preference. So what I did was I created two stripes, two vertical stripes that are on the right-hand side of the page, and those become the basis of the colors for my layout. So I wanted that reddy pink and black and white, and then I wanted to incorporate a little bit of that blue that is in my shirt because that was the picture I was originally going to use, and just for a punctuation of colors. And I actually am going to create a visual triangle with that blue color, and I'll point that out to you towards the end as well. So I have this really old stamp from Jenny Bolin, and my idea was to use that sort of as a bit of a background to just create some visual interest, some movement, and texture to that left-hand side page that would complement the texture that's on the right-hand side by having those crosses and the horizontal stripes. But it was too much of a competitive stripe. That grid, not a stripe, I should say, that grid. And so I am going to cover up parts of it with this grid pattern paper. So it's a small grid within a large grid, which kind of ties that whole thing together and gives you a bit of a grid-like boxy feel to this particular page. So there I am with the picture that I don't end up using, but it's the same size and the same idea. So it's easy to design with it. So I had that washi that I thought would be a great complementary black piece to the weight of those strips on the right hand side that I wanted to balance out over on this left hand side. So I actually take a piece of that sort of more orangey, it's a reddy orange, a rusty kind of colored pattern paper there, and just put a thin strip of it on the left hand side, and that balances out that right hand side a little bit. It still needs something else because they're not equal weights, those vertical pieces, and so I wanted something that would be a little bit more balancing, and I'll get to that. So I wanted to put the title in, and this is where I decide that I'm going to switch the title. iPhone 8 wasn't going to work, but Apple Watch was going to work, and so that's why I ended up switching the photo. And eventually I do want to have both pictures or both topics in this book, because this book is about me. I wanted to do the paper issues 52 weeks and in the Traveler's Notebook, but I wanted it to be about me. And so that's why, because I went with the title Apple Watch and it was easier to fit Apple Watch symmetrically across that open space there, that's why I went with this particular photo and changed my mind. So this is going to be the beginning of the visual triangle. I created the visual triangle with this title this part of the title actually, because it's this blue, this greeny blue that will be there. And then your eye will move over to the left to a blue heart that'll end up just below the photo. And then it'll move your eye back over to the right where I have a blue arrow. And then you'll go back up to that apple. So you'll see how that becomes a visual triangle that draws your eye from the title across the photo, down to the journaling, and back up to the title. And that is what a visual triangle is. So then the rest of the title, I used the black, I think they're mini stars in white. And that is a die cut that I ran through my Big Shot, and that ends up being the complete title, Apple Watch, and it fills that space nicely and leaves me room for journaling. So I mentioned earlier that I wanted a little bit more black on that left-hand side of the page to balance it out and move your eye across the page, and I have that there. The problem is that you can see that that is almost like an eyesore. It's just your eye is drawn to this heavy black piece of washi. So I am going to just rip it right there, just a little bit, so that you still have the black, but it's not quite so heavy, and it allows balance across the page there. So to put my letters on, I ran them through my Xyron X sticker maker, and then I just have them on my Heidi Swap centerline ruler, and I'm just going to go ahead and push those down and finish that title off there. I want a little bit more embellishment to this. I don't have a place to journal, and I really don't have a whole lot of embellishment. So once I stick this picture down, that is my next task, is to just get just a little bit more on the page, not a whole lot more. So these are stickers. These are actually planner stickers from Mambi, and I am going to use that one right there, which makes a perfect journal spot, and it's in keeping with that grid that I've kind of created there. These are labels that I printed from, who did I print these from? These are a free download from Feed Your Craft, and I printed these off, and I thought that that was going to tie the blue into the layout, and you will see me pull it apart. However, I don't end up using it, but I wanted to show you how sometimes elements that you think are going to be on the page don't actually make it, and that's okay. And you can see my little thinky fingers there tapping, trying to find a way to incorporate that in. So instead, I get this washi. This is old washi from my stash from Studio Calico, and it has a little bit of that blue in it, the same blue as the label that's sticking on my finger, which is what made me think of these. And that is going to go on the left-hand bottom side there. And again, it's got that rectangular box. It's a bit of a grid, and it's got that blue in it. And unfortunately, I don't think I put it on in the video, but I am going to put a blue heart over that little bit of blue that's on that washi tape that's right there. I'm going to take another piece of the washi tape and put it above Apple Watch, and that says today. And again, it's keeping in that grid and moving the grid all the way across the page and guiding your eye across the page. And then again, the third element of this visual triangle that I keep referencing is actually going to be a blue arrow that goes at the bottom of that journal box there that I don't do on camera either. So that is my latest Traveler's Notebook page. Enjoy the close-up. Thanks for stopping in today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them in the box down below. Thanks for stopping in today. Take care.